There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up, and welcome into episode number 128 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Mark Hall, Patrick Hertzberger, Ryan Tyson, no Matt Gann this week. Today is Wednesday, June 26th. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. While you're there, leave us a rating. While you're there, 5 stars always helps us out more than you know. Gentlemen, how we doing? How we living? We living right?
Hey, we're living right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, no,
yeah.
Patrick was trying to sneak in there and get before I said
That's on
something.
me. It's on me. Go ahead, Brian.
No, it's gotta be me first,
So-
always.
Yeah.
Very
please go,
prideful
please
of
go.
that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
Let's just get
joking.
out ahead of it, Patrick. The haircut's phenomenal.
Thank
The
you, man. I
the
appreciate
haircut's
that.
phenomenal.
Look at you.
This is all they can do with my hair. It's been the same haircut my whole life. They can't do anything cooler even though I have great hair. I don't get it.
Okay,
They can't
I
do
got
anything to my hair either, so it's fine.
I got a
It's
question.
straight
I
as
got a-
hell.
question for the
Couple
group.
guys with great hair complaining about what they can do with their hair. I hate
No.
this. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Mace.
So you don't have to answer if you don't want to implicate yourself, but I'm going to ask it to the group. All of us now, your wife enters the room. Do you notice if she gets a haircut? And I mean a girl haircut, not a guy haircut, a girl haircut. Do you notice?
I'll go
Depends
first.
what's done, but yeah. No,
Right.
Brian, I'll go first. I'll just go take it.
That's fair.
Brian, you're not
dude,
going first.
after
today, by the
you,
way.
big man. After
what's
you.
done, but yeah, honestly, I think I do because
You
it's
do?
normally like enough inches where it's like, hey, something's different. I'm
Right.
also a guy who enjoys playing with his wife's hair, and so like
I've noticed.
I'm a little more in the trenches there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Okay. You're in the trenches. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't notice. It's
Well,
like,
how often does it happen? That's my question, Mason.
I mean, not very often. And when she does, it's just a trim, right? She'll
Yeah.
claim it's like 2-3 inches, but like,
Yeah,
What's
so-
your line,
I
dude?
Women are
I-
always overdoing like how significant their haircuts are, though. That's
Yeah.
just true.
So my wife will get her haircut like twice a year, like literally twice a year. Once
Yeah,
in the
like,
fall, once
I
in the
think-
spring,
I think
and
I
she's
think
just like in the fall. She usually always goes like shorter hair. She cuts. Her
I
hair
would
short.
I would guess Katie's like a 3 cut a year gal.
Yeah.
Patrick, you notice?
Like 1.5.
Do you notice?
Oh yeah. There have been times where I've noticed right away, and there have been times where it's taken me a couple hours.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the, do you notice anything? And
Oh,
that's
no.
always fun. Always
I
fun.
want
Oh
to
no.
circle back. What are those couple hours like, Pat? Like looking back
They're
upon
fine.
them.
Is
Are
she
they
just
like,
staring
oh,
at
that was
you?
weird?
They're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're totally fine.
Okay. That's good. Let us know down below in the comments. You're a gentleman. Do you notice your significant other getting a haircut? Little fun here, boys. We got some.
Hey,
stuff
if
to-
you're
go
a
ahead.
lady, tell us too.
Yeah.
My haircuts don't always get.
Oh, mine
noticed.
never get clocked.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And it's
I
like,
got a
hey, you
haircut
know-
today. No one noticed.
you know
None of
who
y'all
wants to-
noticed.
Dang,
Here,
I didn't
hey.
notice either.
No.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
it's hard
tough.
to tell.
Oh
Hard
really?
to tell from here.
Hard
look
to
great.
tell.
See, no one noticed. No one noticed.
But my wife did notice today. So
Well, hey, that's 'cause she
good
loves
for
you.
her. Good
Because
for
she
her.
loves you, you know. Okay, some Oklahoma football news. Let's get right into it. Brent Venables has a new contract that literally dropped like the day after our pod. Which, you know, that's the game, right? You're meeting once a week. The Brent Venables contract is an extension. Anyone have the details off the top of your head?
So it's more or less, it's more like it brings him in line with SEC coaches. I think he's still like 7th in the SEC versus 9th before. It's really just a 2-year extension. The major problem is the way that it was presented up front, which was this is a 6-year extension. When really what it is it takes his remaining 4 years, turns it into 6,
Got it.
right? And he gets a raise every single season. I think it's something like 405 every year. It goes up. And frankly, I don't have any trouble with that at all. You are trying to build to something, you're committing to it, and you're marking to market one of the most influential head coaches in the way college football goes for the next entire length of the contract. Contract now 6 years. Those 6 years and how it goes for Oklahoma is going to have major ripple effects all throughout college football. And personally, I think that we're all on board with it, but that's a big deal. And it shows a level of commitment that I think we're happy to see, because the record improvement is one thing, but we're also seeing it off the field. We're seeing what's being done behind the scenes with recruiting, everything with the infrastructure of the program that we thought weightlifting may have been gone before or deteriorated before. It's been built back up, and I trust the trajectory we're on. So adding 2 years onto his contract is something that I think you almost have to do, because you got to keep him bright, make sure no one else comes and gets your guy.
I think it's a perfect, I don't know if compromise is the right word, but perfect deal for this point in time where we're at. It shows commitment to Brent, but it also doesn't burn all of our money away. It's not a huge monetary extension. He's still 7th, like he's still average in the SEC. So I'm really happy with it. If it works out, amazing. If it doesn't, it's not a crazy amount of money to lose out on.
Yeah, I saw a lot of posts that were like, why would you give someone this who has gone, what's the record, 16-10, somewhere around there? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's just doesn't tell like the full story. Like they're using a specific statistic to say, like, try to tell their own story. And, if you see the difference between us going, 6-6 or 6-7, I guess technically, and then moving into this past year, which we did significantly better, you see that upward trajectory. The recruiting has been fantastic. There's more to being a head coach than just the win-loss percentage, especially your first 2 years. So it's about like building this foundation and what you do off the field. So, and then like Pat said, he's 7th in the SEC. I mean, like, we have to keep up with the top teams in the SEC, or else he's going to get snatched by somebody else. I don't think he would leave at this point, but I think this is a good move. I think it was the expected move. I don't understand why people are really shocked by it. I think it was what needed to happen.
They're just going to
Real
cite
fast.
the wins losses. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
Real fast, to speak to your point about not telling the whole picture behind it by giving that 16-10 record, the 24/7 Sports blue chip ratio for 2024 became a big conversation today. And Oklahoma clocks in at 73%. Now, what this means is on your roster, how many of your guys are 4 or 5 stars? And for Oklahoma this season, going in right now for 2024, 73%. Looking backwards, during the Brent Venables era, you're looking at last season was 70%. Year before that was 71%.
Wow.
You go back previously, 2021 forward or backwards, 66, 63, 60, 53, 45, 36, 38. So you're looking at an improvement. And Lincoln Riley started that improvement, right? Bob could get a lot out of 3 stars back in the day, and we all loved him for it. Samaje Perine was a 3-star running back. So we loved him for it, but you're seeing consistent improvement through that. And I think that's a reflection of what Brent Venables is bringing to the table. Go ahead, Mason.
Well, and to your point, Mark, recruiting in that era, like recruiting from the Lincoln Riley period to now the Brent Venables period, has become so much more nationalized. Like, you're not recruiting just your area anymore. Do you need to own your area? Yeah, you do. But I mean, we're seeing guys that we're about to talk about pulling them in from California, and we're doing that with regularity. From in the SEC, that's what you're going to do. You're going to pull guys in nationally as well. So I feel like that blue chip is just going to continue to rise. That percentage will continue to rise. And what you're paying for is stability in Brent Venables. You're paying for Oklahoma has been a model of consistency over the last 60, 70 years of college football. As long as there's been college football, Oklahoma has been a steady program. And that's what you're paying Brent Venables for right now. Now, I feel as though him being 7th is kind of a prove it deal. Like, I think Brent's agent probably doesn't like that he's 7th. I guarantee you he doesn't. But to Joe C and company, go ahead and prove it. Prove that you're the guy to do this. I believe in you. We're showing you we have a vote of confidence that you're going to do that by giving you this extension. You're locked up for 6 years. So we all know how college football works, and so does Brent's agent. If you win games and you win conference championships and you win national titles, you get more money and you get more years. That's the way it works. And up to this point, he hasn't done it. But what he has done, to Mark's point and Ryan's point, he's improved. He's improved since he's got here. So that's what you're paying for, is the consistency that Brent offers.
And another just quick point that I want to say with regard to that blue chip ratio is the more you make your team dependent on these 4 and 5 star players, the less you have to be dependent on your head coach to be the difference maker. And that was always, I felt, something that held us back in the Lincoln Riley era. Is at a certain point, we're just hoping coach has something to draw up. Whereas with the guys we're recruiting now, you look at a guy like PJ, 5-star coming into his 2nd season, he might just be able to wreck plays on 7% of the times he's on the field. And that's gigantic. And we weren't getting guys like that before. We were getting guys that would fit what he wanted to do here and there, plus Buki. Shout out Buki.
Shout out Buki. Let us know down below in the comments what you thought about Brent Venables' extension. Pat, Ryan, anything else to add before we move on?
The only thing that I want to add is when Mark was talking about the blue chip ratio, we are this year, and we're number 6 nationally. And we are right above Texas. So beautiful, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
Love to see it.
Yep, I love it as well. Okay, we got some commits to go over and some crystal balls as well in the recruiting realm. I'm going to rattle off the commits real quick. We'll talk about the commits, then we'll talk about the crystal balls. Sound good, boys? Cool. Okay, we got commits. Jaden O Neal, number 6 quarterback in the 2026 class, 6'3", 215, 4-star from Long Beach, California. Pat, you seen him play yet?
Not yet, but I sure as hell will next season or in September.
Hey, I love that, baby. Emmanuel Choice, number 9 wide receiver in Texas. He's a 4-star, 6'5", 197 from Lancaster, Texas. And then the big one today, dropping on Tuesday, CJ Nickson. He's listed as an athlete, but he plays edge tight end in high school. He's the number 5 athlete in the country, 4-star, 6'6", 235 from Weatherford, Oklahoma, in-state guy, commits to OU. He is a big boy. Guys, what stands out to you in the commits? So Jaden O Neal is a 2026 guy. Is Emmanuel Choice as well?
He's
or no?
25, I think.
25.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And CJ Nickson, 2025 as well. So very, very excited about CJ Nickson. Obviously, if you're a fan of the show, you know how I feel about in-state guys and how we should always get the best in-state guys. It should never even be a question. So I'm happy that a guy from Weatherford is committed as of right now. I really like the Jaden O Neal commit. That's a fun quarterback, man. 6'3", 215.
That's a fun quarterback.
That's fun, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
If it sticks, I mean, we got to get to December, 2026 or no, December 2020. No, that's right. December 2026. No, December 2025.
No, next
December
December,
2025.
yes.
December 2025. We got to get there before, I get super duper excited. But man, that's really cool. Anything stick out to you guys?
Emmanuel Choice, just the height. Emma Jones continues to get some awesome receivers. When you just look at the classes he brings in, the range of height, size, speed, he just gets you an all-around wide receiver core that is impeccable. So really excited for that. Jaden O Neal, I'm so excited. I just cannot wait for this guy to take the field for Oklahoma. And
Patrick, what is it about him? What is it about him that has you? Is it just like he's got a look and he's 6'3", 215? Because it's okay if it's that, but I want to know if you've done anything that makes you think like, oh man, this is a guy. Because
Yeah,
you were on
right.
Caleb Williams before the rest of us.
Yeah,
You
I
were.
need your
I was.
quarterback scouting
You were.
insight.
Yep.
You were.
Yep. Jaden O'Neal screams Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
Okay.
That's what he's screaming to me. I have watched highlight reels. Of course, they're fantastic.
So fun.
But
Where'd Cam Newton go to college?
You're so fun. No, he doesn't.
Auburn and
Yeah.
Florida State for a
Okay.
second too, right?
No, Florida. Florida.
Just Florida.
Just
And then
Florida.
Blake.
Just wanted to make
And
sure
then
No,
you
but
had
you
that.
no,
Pat.
you got Auburn though, so
You got Auburn.
you
That was
tell
the
Ryan
one
to
I
shut
needed
the hell up.
get.
Tell Ryan don't talk while you're talking.
I'm not wrong though. I'm not wrong on this one.
That's
I'll
right.
have to go to his games, recruit him. I'll keep recruiting.
Keep
Keep
recruiting,
recruiting.
baby.
Keep recruiting, man. Yeah, you'll have to, dude.
Yeah.
I promise you, if Patrick, I'm making you this promise right now. If you just take your program guy shirt and go to that game and just ask him to take a picture with you, you'll break the internet. I swear to
I
God.
might.
bro.
I
It,
might do it.
Break the internet.
it would.
Well,
It'd
for
break out
program
you
guys
internet.
accounts, you will.
Yeah.
For all of ours, you will.
Yes, agreed. I will freak out. That'd be amazing. Mark, Ryan, your thoughts.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, real quick on all three of these. Jaden O'Neal, I love that we're after a quarterback this early in 2026. Historically, these quarterbacks turn into our biggest recruiters for the entire class. So I think that's very important that we locked him up quickly. Emmanuel Choice, I mean, I can't talk enough about Emma Jones and what he's able to do and what he's done already here. Again, like I said, I believe last week, it's going to be really hard to hold on to this coach for a while. So we just need to be ready for it. I think that's a great pickup. CJ Nickson, completely agree with Mason here that getting the best talent in our state is a non-negotiable at this point going into the SEC. And I love that the staff have, seen that through. So I'm excited.
Cool. As long as
I think
as long as
recruiting
we're
has been
all
awesome.
just going dude by dude. Jaden O'Neal's exciting. I haven't watched him enough yet, but based on his build, I don't think he's going to be Cam Newton. I think he's going to be a bit more compact than that. And I'm excited to see what that looks like too, right? Because Jalen Hurts was not Cam Newton. Jalen Hurts is a smaller build, more compact, more stout to the ground. And it looks to me like Jaden O'Neal has a better arm coming out of, high school than Jalen might have had going into Alabama his season. So I'm excited to see what Jaden O'Neal might have to offer. Manny Choice, man. I'm looking at the wide receivers that Emma Jones has brought in. And between last season's class with Ivan Carry-On 6'6", Manny Choice at 6'5", he's making sure to grab, I think Patrick spoke to it, different bodies in this receiver room. And he's also got guys he can point to say, hey, here's what we do with guys like you. Because Nick Anderson showed a ton of promise last season. And Jaden Gibson showed a ton of promise last season. And he's able to go in the portal and grab Deion Burks and say, hey, you're our Drake Stoops. Just do that. Right? It's a little separate than this conversation, but I think it speaks to what Emmett Jones has done. Finally, man, CJ Nickson, I am so excited for. I think he ends up playing the edge. Miguel Chavis was his lead recruiter, but Joe John Finley was his second, right? And so it's possible. I mean, he's coming in here, and I bet he has every opportunity to play both sides of the ball. But you see an athlete like that coming from in-state, and you see them zero in. We lost by Joby to Michigan State, and it was just like, best of luck. Best of luck, dog. He hits the portal. We don't contact him. This guy commits out of high school, and you see the kind of body that he has to work with. CJ Nickson, 6'5", 216, according to On3. They're going to get him in the weight room with Smitty. He's going to be a freak. And
he's going to be 240 in like no time. He's going to be 240 in no time.
Truly in no time. I ate those Headington meals. They're going to feed him until he's unable to finish eating. And he's going to be 240 in no time. He's going to hit that growth spurt. I think he's going to be very exciting. I don't think anyone has a body like PJ, but we're looking at another guy with wingspan and dimensions that are very exciting to work with here.
I'm fired up about it. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of those three commits that we just went over. Read every single one of your comments as well. All right, some crystal balls to go over real quick. we'll go Caden Jones. How about it? Caden Jones from Jinx America. Another in-state guy, 2026 running back, 4-star, 5'11", 170. And then Peyton Houston, 2027, 6', 185, from Shreveport, Louisiana. What position does Peyton play?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
He's their early quarterback
2027.
target for 27. And so that means a lot of things, but not that long ago, we were getting crystal balls for Darion Coleman, who ended up committing to Miami. He's a 3-star quarterback. Peyton Houston seems to be the guy right now. It's really something to look out for. He posted a picture and saluted the coaching staff for getting Jaden O Neal, but at 6', 185, you need to see some development from a 2027 quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Caden Jones is the son of Kewan Jones. If anyone knows who that is, early 2000s Oklahoma running back. Also played at Jinx. KD Jones, they call him KD. This kid is just an athlete. He's got offers from Tennessee. He's got offers from, he has Alabama scouting him. I don't know if he's got an Alabama offer yet, but I've seen Alabama scouts at practice during spring ball. I work at the high school, so
Yeah, there it is. I was waiting for it.
him
The
on a daily
vamping that's
basis.
going on right now.
I know.
You
Maybe.
need look,
Insider.
you've got the inside track on this recruitment. It sounds like,
do.
Mason. Are you ready to drop a ball?
I'm not yet
Caden
because
Jones.
no,
You're not.
because he
Early.
because
the
he
dad is not
26?
that that influential. There,
his
where you can do
dad.
that.
So his dad is obviously going to be influential in his recruitment, and I wouldn't be shocked if OU ends up being the one. But he's going to entertain all of these offers. I mean, he's already had a trip to Knoxville. He's had a trip to Tuscaloosa, I believe. He's getting recruited by big schools, by big programs, and they're giving him straight up offers. I think Miami gave him an offer, Miami, Florida, obviously. So, I mean, he's got a lot of offers. He's a really good running back, plays both sides of the ball, though, a really, really good safety. I would bet my money he ends up playing running back. Super fast, runs about a 4.4, is the best player on the field in any game that I saw last year as a sophomore, and he's about to be a junior, and he'll be the best player on the field again. He's a fantastic player, fantastic kid too. I want to give credit where it's due. He's a great kid, really good head on his shoulders, bright, smart. It'd be cool. Be cool if he came to OU.
That thing about being the best kid on the field is something you really want to see from these high schoolers, especially when you're getting in their recruitment young, is like, oh, you were the best kid on the field as a sophomore. Let's see what you do as a junior and senior. Let's see what you do as you get more practice, you put some weight on.
Yeah.
While we're still in Jinx recruiting corner,
Okay.
I saw today that a Jinx linebacker committed to Princeton.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that kid, Mason? I know that it's not OU,
He's-
but how
he's
special
really-
is this? Oklahoma recruiting. We got this.
Yeah, I know. He's a brilliant kid. He got offers from Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, and chose Princeton over all of them. The dude's brilliant. Sam Stone is his name. He's about 6'2", 215, solid muscle. Like the dude's yoked out of his mind. And a great kid. He did some play-by-play for us for Trojan TV lacrosse. So he's very, very talented. Yeah, I'm impressed. He's gonna do great things up there. Jinx has an Ivy League kind of connection. Tyler Ott, who plays for the Baltimore Ravens as a long snapper, played tight end for Harvard the year before I graduated. So that's and one other guy went to Dartmouth. I can't remember his name. It's escaping me. I apologize. So yeah, Ivy League and the Trojans. Good little connection.
Love
there.
that.
Sam Stone, bright future.
Sam Stone, great kid. Great kid. Anybody else? Anything to touch on with that? I'm excited about the quarterback offer. I mean, again, there's a long way to go, but you can notice when they hone in on a quarterback like that early, it's really, really important to like help build the class around him.
Yeah.
And especially if they're all in on him this early on, that kind of tells you something. I think that OU knows that this can be their guy. And I think it's also, well, he's 2027, so he's got a ways away. But I mean,
No,
you go
no.
Kevin Sperry.
Jaden O'Neal is 2026. So look at the difference Kevin Sperry has had, and
Yeah.
maybe you can extrapolate some things there too, right?
Yeah. So Jaden O'Neal and then Peyton Houston. Like you're going 3 years in a row with a top tier quarterback. And again, you get them all in house and you let them figure it out. I think that's the move. That's just what you do. I think that's what you have to do in today's day and age of college football. You just get the best players you possibly can, like all those blue chips we just talked about. Keep that percentage in the high 70s to 80s, and the best man wins. If you don't, go ahead and transfer.
What makes me feel really good about these two classes too is how good Michael Hawkins has looked in practice.
Right.
Is these guys are going to recruit their asses off. Hopefully they're the best players they can possibly be. But even if they're not, Michael Hawkins is waiting in the wings. And as long as he doesn't leave town, that's a dude you can count on a little bit.
I agree. Pat, anything else to add?
Just shout out to Seth Luttrell as well, right? I mean, new offensive coordinator coming in, hasn't coached a Power 5 school for 10, 11 years, but is obviously recruiting extremely well. So,
and poaching people from Southern California. So
right.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's truly a shame what's going on out there.
Truly a shame.
Yeah, hate to see it. Also, just do you see the message board if you guys follow them on Twitter?
It's so
or X,
funny.
The message board geniuses, just all of the USC people are like melting down, and they're already calling for Lincoln to be fired, and it's absolutely hysterical.
It's amazing.
Did you see Steve Wiltfong for On3 did a Lincoln Riley puff piece today?
Did he really?
No.
Today.
I didn't see it.
In the tweet, it's talking about like the excitement around the USC program. And it's like, dog. One, this is of a piece where Lincoln Riley does well in recruiting. He loses the recruit, and then the media buffs him up a little bit, right? Yeah, the article comes up about how special Lincoln Riley is.
Yeah.
But yeah, today Wiltfong drops that. And I guess you got to keep your people, right? You got to keep Lincoln Riley happy. You got to keep your sources, all of this stuff. But I would feel really weird about dropping that today after the last week that USC had.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so obviously an ass.
Nuts.
Like, hey, buddy.
But this is typically what he does. So it's not like weird.
Yeah.
I think just people are gonna start seeing through it more and more and more. So
the best of us, the best of the Oklahoma fans saw it a long time ago, and it's cool to see early USC fans jump on board with that, right?
They're going. Look, we got our own problems with the SEC. Like, I get it. It's going to be tough. They're in a heap of problems in the Big Ten. I think we talked about it last week, so I'm not going to rehash it. But
they're in a problem.
Like, they might be in a world of hurt. Okay, moving on. Some softball news. Ryan, you got us on the softball front.
Yeah,
man.
I got
we
you.
Had some good stuff today.
No wagons, though.
No wagons, so I'm not going to do as well. I'm going to move through these pretty quickly, but transfer portal. Patty is just, back in the transfer portal, back grabbing people, just picking them out of teams, bringing them in, for softball this upcoming year. 4-peat champions. Really, it's all about building the bench and, some of the losses that we're about to take with our seniors leaving. Like, how are we going to replace them? And Patty is doing her thing. So we've gotten 3 Go Boomers. And if you don't know what a Go Boomer is, it's a tweet that Patty sends out anytime we get a transfer portal person committed to Oklahoma. And there's always 2 bombs in the boomer replacing the O's. And secretly, there has been another code that has happened in the last 2 tweets where she has the amount of exclamation points that go with the numbered position of the athlete coming in. And it's the last 2 have met those requirements. It's Patty just on another level. So going through these quickly, Isabella Emmerling, catcher, who's coming from North Carolina. Kinsey Hansen is leaving, so we need to replace her. I think this is a really, really great grab. Abby Dayton from Utah, who is an All-American, I believe, and one of the best bats in the Pac-12 last year, I believe, also, and plays outfielder, we need to replace Riley Boone in the outfield. I don't know if and Jada Coleman,
Yeah.
So Abby Dayton, I believe, plays center field. So that's a Jada Coleman replacement right there. And then the newest one today, as of an hour ago, is Ilana Agbayani, who's from BYU, who plays shortstop, which we also need to replace this year. And so she had a hit .424 with 5 home runs with a on-base percentage of .534. So it's, I think that infielding position for her is really good for us. We need it. We need to replace it. The elephant in the room is still Najari Kennedy, the player of the year last year, the pitcher from Stanford, who is still in the portal. We do not know where she is going yet, but I am sure that Patty has the phone lines going. So that's a quick softball recruiting update for you. I know I'm no Matt Gam, but I tried.
Hey, I thought it was great, man. Yeah, Patty's working hard, man. In Patty we trust all of the time.
Patty we trust.
Yeah, Mark.
Do we want to talk about the A&M coach?
Yeah, I kind of do a little bit.
Yeah,
The
just talk a
baseball?
little shit real fast.
Yeah, also congrats, Patrick, national
Thank
champion.
you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was
National
hard fought, but the Aggies never had a chance when you really looked at it.
I
Well,
bet it
when
was
you looked
just
at their coach with a
sweet
foot out the
that it
door.
was
Right.
that it was
Yeah.
Texas A&M, huh? It was just
Yeah.
sweet that it was Texas A&M.
It was
So
really
in,
nice.
in case you don't know, Tennessee beat Texas A&M in the College Baseball World Series. After the game, the Texas A&M coach, his name is escaping me, was at the post-game press conference podium, and so did you say it, Mark? I didn't hear.
Schlossnagel.
Schlossnagel. Thank you.
I don't know if that's right, but that's how it sounds to me.
Yeah, that's fine. He was at the podium, and a reporter asked him about wanting to stay in Aggie land, which like I thought was just an annoying question. Just saying Aggie land, like you're a reporter, just call College Station. Like stop being weird. But the coach got pretty upset about the question, basically saying I left my family to be the head coach of Texas A&M. I'm the head coach of Texas A&M, and he was kind of, what's the word he used?
It was Lincoln
He
Riley
said it was
LSU energy.
offensive to ask the
Offensive.
question.
It was
He said it was
offensive.
offensive to ask the question.
Yeah,
Yes.
offensive and selfish to ask the question that he would leave Texas A&M and go anywhere else. Texas A&M got back into College Station at around noon, and by 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday or on Tuesday night, he was announced as the new head coach of Texas. Yikes.
Classic.
Jinkies.
Jinkies.
Jinky Scoob.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I'm
I
telling you,
feel-
it's LSU Lincoln Riley energy, except
Yeah.
it's
it
just
is.
not
No, you're
like that's
absolutely
exactly
right.
what it is. I'm not leaving
Except
Oklahoma.
A&M to Texas
I
is
know,
even
it's so
harder.
much worse.
Yeah.
It's even
It's-
harder.
I look, everyone knows I don't really have a soft spot for the Aggies, but like I do feel bad for them
Like, that's
just because
brutal.
we kind of went through some crap, and to have your coach just hours ago sit at that table and be offended at a question insinuating that he's leaving, and then 18 hours later he is in fact doing the leaving. That's brutal. That's brutal.
Also-
Ryan's right. He says it just like Lincoln Riley says it. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Matt. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, A&M was the only school who really didn't want Texas in the SEC. Really didn't want
Yeah.
the SEC.
They were
And
the
I'd
only
be
ones who
willing to
voted
bet
against it.
This doesn't happen if Texas doesn't enter the SEC.
Mhm.
That's a big reason as to why this probably happened. So I think it's even like another FU to A&M of like, we're even going to steal your coaches and your popularity in this conference.
Also, throw it out there. Skip Johnson remaining at OU is massive because
Huge.
Texas,
Thank God.
I guarantee you, would have thrown a lot of money at that guy. And maybe they did and we didn't hear about it, but like, I'm glad he's not going there, man. OU baseball needs that guy. And I'm sure Joe C and company know that, but man, just hysterical that dude has the audacity. Like what goes through these guys' minds? I just don't get it. Why back yourself into a corner like that? And then the
He's
only
probably
way,
emotional.
yeah, that's fine.
He's
Everyone's emotional, but like,
I mean,
don't
he just
back yourself
lost
in a
the national
corner.
championship. Like it's
The
probably just an
video-
emotional answer.
The camera panned to him after the game, and he was just like in the dugout alone, just sitting there, like not consoling his players or anything like that, just sitting by himself, sad. And I was like, that. Now looking back at it, he knew at that point, like he was gone already, so he wasn't, worried about his players or whatever.
Oh,
Just sad.
and
That's
Texas,
major take a private bus home energy. Like Lincoln
Yeah.
Riley, man.
Yeah.
and Texas being the ultimate petty school of firing their coach the day of the championship. So everyone's like, oh, they have their person locked in. Like at this
To go
point,
take in.
to go take him. It's just all of it is sitting on the outside. You're like, oh my God. I feel you're right, Mason. I feel bad for A&M, and I usually don't, but I feel bad for them because we've been in this kind of similar situation, just in a different sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's crazy to watch.
Brutal. Anybody, anything else on that before we move on?
No.
EA College Football 25 coming out in a month.
A
Is
month,
that right?
I think
About a
July,
month?
sometime in
Just
July,
about.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
They
about.
so they're
16th and
doing
19th.
yeah, they're doing a release every week. So I think this
Every
week,
day. This
day.
Oh, is it
every
day?
day this
Is it
week.
day?
So
Thank
tomorrow
you,
there
thank
will
you.
be a new one. Yeah. Do you want me
Thank
to
you.
just do this?
Yes, do it. Please do.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
So EA College Football, I threw this in the outline. We showed up today on the release of the hardest places to play. They dropped like a top 10. I actually think they dropped like a top 25, but Oklahoma lands in the top 10 at 8. Do we think that that is like appropriate?
No, I don't.
They
don't.
took into account like I read everything that they took into account for. It's like home, like I don't know how far they went back, but like home win percentage, like all of that stuff. If they went back to like the
Okay.
1980s and stuff like that, then yeah, like we would be up there.
But would A&M
It's
be
not the way
first?
I would consider these things. It's not the way I would consider.
I
these
don't
things.
know how
'Cause
far
the
back they
A&M
went. That's the
one
question. The
tells
A&M at
me they're
1,
looking at it different,
a little weird.
like in different places.
They're just skewing.
What
whatever
was
they
A&M
want.
number 1?
A&M is
Yes.
number 1.
And
But they
Oklahoma's
also like
always
A&M
gonna be
is
'cause the wins
A&M has
percentage at home.
always been like the home of the 12 man, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like for as
Yeah.
long as I can remember. So like it makes sense to me that they're like, yeah, this would be the hardest place to play from that regard, but
Sure.
also at the same time, like A&M has not been successful. Like I don't really understand how that
even
doesn't
at home.
correlate.
Even
Yeah,
at
I don't
home.
don't
They lost to
understand really how
Appalachian
those
State
things
at home.
how
Yeah.
those things correlate. But
Yeah. I don't know. But to Mark's original question, I just don't think if you want to make the game realistic, is OU a top 10 hardest place to play? I just don't think so. I saw somebody release their own rankings. I believe it was
Andy Staples or Josh
Andy
Payne.
Staples.
Those were the two.
Andy Staples put like OSU at like 8. And I
It's
was
10.
like, at 10? Thank you. And I was like, no, that's not true. That's pandering or something. Like that's
No, but
That's awful.
he had Neyland at 6 and asked Patrick, that is a rowdier stadium than Oklahoma is.
Neyland's
yeah,
rowdy.
So
Neyland's rowdy.
Something's just
Mm.
different in the rankings here. And
Well, they
and
didn't have
Ryan's
Michigan
point
up.
about win percentage is probably the right one, because that probably explains Michigan too, because they've been not great for
Yeah.
a while now.
But you would
Mi-
think the big house would be up there. I mean,
Michigan was
I'd
the
agree.
biggest outlier.
I'd agree.
Most
Yeah.
incorrect on that list.
I think
because
maybe
they had
A&M.
OSU, they had Ohio State at what, 4? I think something like that. I
Yeah.
want to say, and Penn State at like 6. I don't know, somewhere around there.
Penn State should be top 5 for me. Penn State should be top 5.
They had a lot of SEC, a lot of Big 12. or Big 10.
LSU should be number 1 in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think LSU's 1. Yeah, that's wild. But
Weird
yeah,
list.
yeah, just a weird list. I'm curious to see how they do the team rankings. Like, I think that's kind of what everybody is waiting to see. Like, do you like who's going to be the best? who's going to be the best one, because there's always that one team. So I'm curious to
It's
see what
probably
that
gonna be
looks like.
Georgia, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be
Georgia, right?
So that gets to so Friday is when we're gonna get that, right? Friday is
Mhm.
when we're gonna get the actual team sort of power ranked, 1 to 25, whatever we're gonna get. The next thing we're gonna get, what you'll get today as you're reading or as you're listening to this, is sights and sounds that NCAA or that EA has in mind for us. I think if we went one thing per person, that would be very fun. I'll go first to give you guys an idea of what I'm thinking. Sights and sounds, right? I want to see the Brent Venables in my college football grab the face mask of a player and like kind of pull him in. And he's not too aggressive, right? But let's say it's Jaron Kanek and I just saw him not flip his hips the right way, and I can call a timeout just to trigger the animation, and he goes after the guy that was wrong and he pulls him in and he yells at him a little bit. Love it. Love it. That's college football. You don't do that in the pros, but you do that in college football. And that'd be something that I would love to see. Mason, you have something?
Uh,
I got one.
yeah, go. Ryan.
I want to hear the OU kickoff.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Like, I want them to be able to. Are they actually going to do that? If like we were paying in Norman
Yeah.
in the
Right.
game,
Yeah.
you have to, I would think. But
The moment you press X the second time, the O should start.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
bang.
They would, what they won't do, what I think would be fun, just like a fun thing for them to do, is when the opposing team kicks an extra point in the north end zone, you watch the fans throw it out. That'd be fun to me. That's high level animation though. I just
Super good.
that'd just be fun. Just to be like, hey, they do this. I'm sure other people do it, but it's just funny. It's just funny when it happens because you see the ball boys chasing it down. It's sad, but like whatever. It just goes outside.
And you can see other fans every now, like they start to figure it out and they're like, I want to get it. That would be the best to see, is like some dude not able to get it.
Yeah. Patrick?
Yeah. Cool things to like the fans in the stadiums, like striping the stadiums, blackout, whiteout, checkering the stadiums, all that fun stuff. I think that's a realistic thing that they could maybe do. Like, hey, I want this to be my striped stadium game against Alabama.
Oh yeah,
November
and you can like
29th.
select that. Yeah, you can like do that. That'd be
That'd be fun.
cool. Yeah, that'd be a good time.
That'd be super fun. I'm sure they can do that. So long as you can see it clearly, right, Pat?
Right. Don't want to get blurry.
No, well, you don't
want to
and-
make it blurry. Don't want
No,
this ain't 14, this is 25.
This is it's been 11 years, folks. Come on.
Yeah, get right. Get right. Let us know down below in the comments what you think of NCAA football 25. OU being a number 8, toughest place to play in the country. Very interesting, right there. Okay, Ryan, you got a question for the people?
Yeah, I do. It's going to be real rapid fire.
Okay.
This is our final podcast as members
Ever.
of the Big 12.
Okay.
As members of the Big 12. We
Oh, wow.
we officially switch over to the SEC next Monday on July 1st. I want to know from you guys, what is one thing that you will miss about the Big 12? I have my answer ready to go, so I'll start. I will miss Bedlam in football.
Sure.
I don't know if it'll come back, but I will miss it. I will miss
Rapid
bullying
fire.
our little brother.
Rapid fire.
I know my next one is going like 100% Big 12 championship being in Dallas. That is
I agree
so
with that.
nice, because if we make it, we're all close enough. We can make that work. Atlanta's a little bit harder. We got to grab flights for that.
Yeah. Pat?
Going like 5, 6, 7 years with only losing one game.
His whole thing.
Yeah,
whole thing.
his,
I was
his
not
He's been
right,
on this
just
train
winning-
forever.
Winning every
think-
weekend.
I think I'll miss the road games. Morgantown was always a cool road game. Iowa State was always a cool road game. Texas Tech, like those were fun. That
I'm
was
not
that
gonna
was
miss Lubbock.
that was cool stuff. I mean, yeah, it was stressful, but like it was fun. It was just cool to see. Those are places we probably won't play again in the next 20 years until we schedule non-conference opponents. But yeah.
I'd rather have a punch thrown at me in the Grove than a closed beer thrown at me in the stands in Lubbock. So give me
Yeah.
that every
Another
time.
tortilla.
That's fine. I mean, it's so have you been to a game in Lubbock?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. Yeah. See, I mean, I liked it when I went. But
They're
when
just rowdy and then they lean
Yeah.
into mean, I think. I think
Yeah,
they
I think
start
you're right.
leaning into mean, and that's
Yeah.
not Dynamite.
Yeah. Morgantown was really cool because that was just a really fun game.
You were there in 14, right? The
Yeah.
Samaj P. Ryan game?
The Samaj P. Ryan
Yeah,
game. It
that's
was sick. It
That's
was sick. It was dope.
That's sick.
But yeah, I think those are mine for sure.
Anyway, RIP OU in the Big 12. We
Man,
begin a new journey next week.
I
crazy.
thought you were going to say our most memorable moment in the Big 12, and mine was going to be the 21 Red River that I spent with you, Ryan. Or maybe the 20 that I spent with you.
The roller coaster. that you
Either the
experienced?
COVID one or the Caleb one. We really rocked it those 2 years.
The roller coaster.
Dude.
Uh,
Yeah,
Wonderful times.
I will never forget me, Matt, and Ryan at the Big 12 championship game against Baylor.
Oh God.
That was fun, man. That was a fun game.
That was before I
That was
married
pre.
a
Zeno?
Yeah,
bear.
that was pre. That was
Thank
you don't need to apologize for that. That
Ryan
was pre.
retroactively
I'm not
Active
apologizing
wishes
for
they won.
anything. I'm
Okay.
not
You know?
apologizing for anything.
Just making sure.
I
Just making
also
sure.
do want to say the one thing I'm very excited about leaving the Big 12 is that OU does not play Baylor anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, that's
It's
good
very
for you.
healthy for my relationship.
No Kansas. Thank God. Thank God. Don't have to
Thank
deal
God,
with it.
no Kansas on the
Patrick, did
schedule.
you have something to add?
No, I mean, it is going to be worse for me because we play Tennessee. So it was
You're
really
right.
fun being like a diehard
Yeah, but you're
Tennessee
like
fan, but
mostly
now it's
you're
tough.
mostly a Tennessee fan anyway, right?
There it is.
I mean, Patrick, we're gonna do it. We're gonna
You don't
do
even
it in
say anything.
October. We're gonna do it in October.
We have a countdown.
We
September
might as well
21st.
we might as well do it now.
It's September
You-
21st.
What color are you going to wear?
I'm gonna wear
Tennessee at
red.
Oklahoma.
I'm gonna wear red.
I'm
Are
gonna
you?
hold you to it.
Yeah,
gonna hold
I
you
even
to it.
got. I already,
What about
I
when
already even got
Oklahoma
the
goes to
option
Tennessee?
I already got the option to sit in the Tennessee section, and I said no.
Rowdy, I guess.
So,
It is
Okay.
rowdy though. I
Rowdy.
appreciate that.
or I
appreciate
could
that.
and just wear crimson, but I don't. I'd rather
Either
sit.
way.
As long as you wear
Either way.
crimson, man.
Yeah, I mean that's all I care
Absolutely.
about.
A
It's
better
something
question
I'm
is what's going to happen
really-
in 2025 when we're in Knoxville.
I'm gonna always
That's a
wear
better
crimson,
question.
guys.
I'm really invested in this. The wedding threw
Yeah.
me off guard.
The wedding threw me off. Definitely threw me off.
Oh, Patrick, I love you, man. I love you.
guys.
It's amazing. All right, PGP MVP of the week time. Let us know down below in the comments who your MVP of the week is. Patrick, we'll start with you since we're hating on you.
Yeah,
Who's
we're
your
gonna
MVP?
do both France and England for underperforming in their groups at the Euro 2024. They've really been playing not good, so those are my LVPs.
Did England play today?
Yeah, they tied 0-0. Can't score a goal.
Oh, that's bad.
that's brutal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did France do? Did Mbappe play?
Yeah, it's tied 0-0.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Yep,
No, sorry,
I'll
they
take
tied
second.
1-1, but both penalties. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Gotcha.
I'll take next. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the I'm gonna lean a little into Ryan Tyson corner here. I'm gonna go the House of the Dragon TV show. I think that
Ooh.
through 2 episodes, season 2 is already looking better than season 1 did. I think that for me and a bunch of people like me, the time jumps in season 1 did not really work for them and left them with less runway to tell a coherent story with these actors. Now I think the pacing is much more on tack and it looks so good, man. It like the show is fun. I know that with the quickness that this thing all takes place, it's all within like 18 months or so. We're going to start losing people, but they're doing a great job with what they have. And I'm really excited for the next however many episodes we're going to get in this. And I wasn't feeling this kind of excited 2 episodes into season 1. So House of the Dragon, baby. That's my MVP.
Heck yeah. Ryan?
I think I have to give my LVP to Texas A&M because of the baseball situation.
fair.
I know we talked about it, and like I do feel bad, but like this is just like madness. Like the way that this is like worked out. This is so much so much worse than the Lincoln Riley thing, I think, just because of how this has played out and the fact that it's A&M and Texas, and he like just got so pissed about being asked the question in literally less than 24 hours is throwing up the horns, and you're like, oh God. So, and he's probably, you would think he's probably like a lot of his A&M players are going to enter the transfer portal and just come to Texas, right? Not that far away.
Yeah.
Get to stay with their coach.
Do they have the same rule as
I don't
football
know.
had as far as SEC transfers? Because maybe they can't. Be
I
an
don't know.
interesting thing to look at because that takes it away from the Lincoln Riley realm.
Yeah.
So I LVP Texas A&M, who still has never won a championship in the top 3 sports.
I'm a big
Rough.
fan. I'm a massive fan of Payne to Aggies, but I feel for them. I do. I truly do feel for you. My MVP is the Boston Celtics. One more time. The parade
my
was on
God.
Friday.
Run it back, man.
It
Get
was-
outta
It
here.
was sick. They had like 1.5 million people at the parade. It was awesome, man. Just really cool to be a champion. Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Sorry. Shout out Ime Udoka. But that's gonna do it for episode number 128. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. We will see you next week officially as members of the Southeastern Conference, the best conference in all the land. Can't wait to join you next week. That's going to do it. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1,
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being